book up wide and meet adventures that wait for you. Live and learn and laugh and play whenever your dream comes true. You could swim along the river all the way to the sea. You could fly up in the sky above the clouds and trees. You could plant a flower garden up on top of the moon. You could swing through the jungle all afternoon. Wherever our story takes us, I can't wait to see. Yes, friends, come and read with me. It's Online Storytime.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Online Storytime at your Grand Rapids Area Library. I'm Miss Tracy.
I'm Grandma Pat.
And we are both delighted to have you here. Delighted means excited, delighted means happy. I'm just delighted. So Grandma Pat, before we start talking about that fun thing we're going to talk about, should we sing?
We should.
Storytime friends, would you sing with us? And remember, if you don't want to clap your hands, clap whatever you have. Here we go. If you want to hear a story, clap your hands. If you want to hear a story, clap your hands. If you want to hear a story, if you want to hear a story, if you want to hear a story, clap your hands. And I really want to hear some stories today. What do you want to talk about, Grandma Pat?
I got a couple of really fun books about this.
What's happening there?
Well, what does it look like? It looks like there's dirt and plants and watering cans and what do we call that thing?
Okay, so I see some plants in a pot.
Mm-hmm.
I see a wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
I see a watering can and putting some things in the ground.
Oh, and gloves. I have to wear gloves, yes. We call that gardening, and I bet you know what that is, don't you? So we're going to be talking today about gardening and the different kinds of gardening and different people that likes to garden.
That's right. Some people like to garden flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like to garden vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
And some people like to do them both. Some people dream, I understand, all winter long about where they could start a brand new garden in the spring in their backyard.
They do that.
So Grandma Pat, do you have any good books about gardening?
A couple of really good ones and about taking care of plants, and they're excellent books.
Awesome.
Our first book today is about a little boy who considers himself a plant rescuer. And it's a book by Matthew Rivera, and he also drew the pictures. And it's brought to us by Neil Porter Books from Holiday House in New York. And there he is. Cute. All right, Manny and his dad came from a long line of gardeners. Look at their truck. Romero's Landscaping Maintenance Lawn Care. Wow. Got all of the tools. Dad knows when to prune camellia trees and how to grow blue hydrangeas and which plants attract bees. Manny wishes the apartment he and Dad share with Nana had a yard with flowers and trees. But Dad has a gift for growing jungles in the smallest places. Manny loves visiting garden centers with his dad. One day, he asked for a plant of his very own. This plant belongs to you, muchacho. Take care of it and give it a good life. Don't worry, Dad. My amigo is in good hands. It's a huge plant. Manny has never cared for his own plant before. Look at all the things Manny's got in his room. He's playing. Here's May. And then here's June next month. What's happening to the plant? Then July. Uh-oh. Excitement leads to disappointment.
It's not always easy caring for a plant.
No, it's not. Manny thinks of ideas. He's using some fertilizer to bring his amigo back to life. He's putting it in the sun. He's giving it lots of water. He's even showing it a magic act. Maybe he's trying to magic it alive, huh? But nothing is working. Nothing works. I bet Dad knows what to do, but I promised I would take care of my amigo by myself. I have stacks of books about animals and dinosaurs and even bugs, but nothing about plants. A new day brings fresh ideas. Where is he going? He's going to the library. Manny turns to his old friend, the library, for help. Look at all his books. He discovers the best spot for sunlight, how much to water, and when to snap off leaves to allow his plant to grow big and tall. He learns about mulch and how to make his own blend. Singing is Manny's extra touch. Look. His amigo grows and grows and grows.
Wow.
Manny, look at your room. It's beautiful. Mijo, let's share your gift and take cuttings of your amigo to your neighbors.
What does that mean, Grandma Pat?
That means you're going to take some pieces of the plant and make it get roots, put it in dirt, and give it to the neighbors to grow brand new plants. Manny is the youngest gardener in a long line of gardeners. There he is with his plant. Oh,
Can I see that picture again that showed all the people he gave the plants to?
yes. See, there it is.
And
There
they all
she's
came
got
from
one.
Manny's plant.
She's got one. Yep.
That's a great way to share, isn't it?
It's a wonderful way to share. And he really was a plant rescuer.
Hey, Storytime friends, Grandma Pat.
Yes.
You ready for a flannel board?
You know I love flannel boards.
All right, I hope that you are ready too, Storytime friends, because you might not be surprised to guess we are going to garden today with our flannel board. And we're going to sing a song called The Gardener Digs the Soil. And let's see what happens. Okay? Our song starts out like this. The gardener digs the soil, the gardener digs the soil. Hi-ho the dairy-o, the gardener digs the soil. All right, now that we have some dirt, what do we need to put in? How about the gardener plants the seed, the gardener plants the seed. Hi-ho the dairy-o, the gardener plants the seed. Now let's tap that dirt to make sure all of the dirt is covering the seed. What else do seeds need to grow? Yep, how about that? The rain falls on the ground, the rain falls on the ground. Hi-ho the dairy-o, the rain falls on the ground. There we go. We've got some rain falling. What else does a garden need? You're right. How about some sun? The sun shines bright and warm. The sun shines bright and warm. Hi-ho the dairy-o, the sun shines bright and warm. Nice job. I'd like to hear you sing along like that. Now what's going to happen? How about the plants begin to grow? The plants begin to grow. Hi-ho the dairy-o, the plants begin to grow. What kind of plants do we have here?
Wow.
That's right.
Those are pretty.
Flowers all around. Flowers all around. Hi-ho the dairy-o, flowers all around. Oh my goodness, look at all of those flowers.
Pretty.
What else do we have in our garden? How about fresh vegetables to eat? Fresh vegetables to eat. Hi-ho the dairy-o, fresh vegetables to eat. That was excellent, my friends. So we found out we need soil and seeds and rain and sun all together to grow a wonderful garden.
Excellent garden.
Hey, thanks for playing.
Our next book is about gardens in the city, Uncle John's City Garden by Burnett G. Ford and illustrated by Frank Morrison. And brought to us by Holiday House, just like that first book was. Look at the big building, apartment building, but look at all the green down here. This is going to be exciting. Everyone called me Little Sissy. I was the smallest. Brother was much bigger than me. Sister was smaller than brother. Still, she was bigger than me. But our Uncle John, he was a great big man. If we three laid ourselves out on the floor head to foot, we would be taller than Uncle John. We even tried it. The first summer we worked in Uncle John's garden, we thought it was the biggest garden in the city. When we looked up and up and up, all around us were tall, tall buildings, all bricks, all the same. Right in the middle of the projects was the garden. That's what everybody called it. We stood at the top of the little dirt hill and looked down at the garden. There were no plants yet, just fresh, raked dirt. We jumped off the hill to the garden below. Each of us got to pick our own packs of seeds. Brother chose corn and lima beans. Sister chose tomatoes and onions. I chose okra. When we told Mother, she laughed. She said we were growing succotash. I was glad. I love succotash. We're going to find out what succotash is. Just hold on. Uncle John had already done the digging and raking. He showed us the rows we were each going to plant. He wrote on some cards and stuck them on sticks in the rows. I had one long row for my okra. Sister had 2 rows for tomatoes and onions. Brother had 3 rows, 2 for corn, 1 for lima beans. Uncle John had lots and lots of rows.
Grandma Pat, why do you write on something and put it on the row?
Well, when they're in the ground, you can't see what they are yet. And sometimes when they just poke their little green heads up, you can't tell what they are either because they kind of all look alike for a while. So you have to know what you've got in each row because you might have to treat them differently. You might have to fertilize them differently or water them differently. So that's how you have to know. Uncle John gave us each a shovel. My shovel was a short, little bitty handle. Sister's shovel had a handle longer than mine. Brother's shovel was even longer, but not as long as Uncle John's. His was as tall as Brother. While Uncle made little hills with his shovel, we used ours to dig little holes in the hills. Then we dropped our seeds in the holes. After we finished planting, Uncle John brought the hose. He helped us gently water our rows. We were tired and thirsty, hot and sweaty, but we felt good.
That's a lot of work.
Oh, we could hardly wait to see our garden grow. As the weeks passed, Mother took us to work in the garden almost every day. We pulled weeds and picked off bugs and watered. Our plants had grown a little bit bigger, first just tiny seedlings, not even up to my shins. Then the shoots grew more, a little more. One day, my okra was up to my knees. A while later, my plants would be up to my waist. The okra would someday be almost as tall as me with beautiful flowers. I thought the okra pods would never appear. More time passed. One day, as we were about to leave for the garden, the sky grew dark. The clouds were thick and black. Thunder roared and lightning flashed, and down, down, down the rain poured. The wind began to blow. We couldn't go. What would happen to our garden in this storm? Would my okra ever grow as tall as me? Mother said our plants would come to no harm, but we didn't think so. Boom, boom, crack, bang. How could anything grow? During the night, the storm stopped. Next day, the garden smelled fresh and clean. Everything was all pretty and green, and our plants had grown. Some were the same size as Sister. Brother's corn was almost as tall as Uncle John. The tomato plants were as tall as me. One of the tomatoes was so big, I needed 2 hands to hold it. We were so happy we couldn't help but jump up and down and hoot and holler. Uncle John showed us how to pick our crops. He gave us bags to put our vegetables in. Brother had a big one for his corn and lima beans. Sister's bag was not as big as his. My bag was little like me. We picked a lot of vegetables, but every day when we came back, the garden had grown some more. Summer was almost over. Soon we would have to go back to school. All our cousins and uncles and aunts came to the garden for a big barbecue. Uncle had spread out tables, a long one for our cousins, a shorter one for the teenagers, and the shortest one for Mother and the other grown-ups. Uncle John cooked chicken and ribs and burgers. He even cooked up some succotash. Best succotash I ever tasted. At the end, we picked and wrapped up the vegetables in big brown paper bundles. We had grown so much food, everyone got to take some of our garden home with them. Sister, brother, Uncle John, and I stood at the top of the little hill, watched our garden in the golden sunset. Uncle John gave us a great big hug. We would come back again next summer, and we hoped summer would come soon. And here is succotash. Have you ever eaten succotash? I have not eaten succotash.
But I bet you there's okra in it.
It's got okra in it. I don't know if you can see the little okra buds in there. They're little round, they look like little wheels with holes in them. That's what okra looks like. But there's the succotash. And there is Uncle John's city garden.
Storytime, friends. Grandma Pat. Yes. Do you want to wave a scarf?
Some scarves.
So out of your story time kit, I'd like you to find your scarf, or you can have a paper towel, or you can wave a sock. You can wave whatever you want to wave, as long as it'll wave. Kleenex, toilet paper, it all works. Today, you might not be surprised to know, just like we did a felt board about gardens, we're going to do some scarf songs about growing. Excuse me, did you hear something?
I thought I heard something.
Excuse me, oh. Oh, of course. Oh, absolutely. Storytime friends. Elephant would like to be our storytime friend today. Hello, Grandma Pat.
Hi, Elephant.
Hello, Storytime friends. I know, I like gardens too. I like flower gardens. I like vegetable gardens. I like growing gardens. I like gardens. Me too, Elephant. Me too. Here, Elephant, why don't you sit right there and you can watch and you can sing along. Here we go. All right, so to start out, what I want you to do is I'd like you to take whatever you're waving for your scarf, scrunchel it up. That's a brand new word. I just made up that word called scrunchel. Scrunchel it up, and I want you to hold it tight in one hand, all right? And we are going to watch as our flower blooms, and this is how it goes. A little seed for me to sow, a little earth to help it grow, a little sun, a little shower, a little wait, and then a flower.
Oh, beautiful.
Wasn't that pretty? I love all your flowers. Should we grow them one more time? All right, here we go. A little seed for me to sow, a little earth to help it grow, a little sun, a little shower, a little wait, and then a flower. Ah, that was a wonderful flower. All right, can you guys all shake out your flower scarf here? Because we're gonna do another song and it's called Will Our Flowers Bloom? And we are gonna go through the motion of planting, and it's gonna rain, and then the sun is gonna be up, and then we might be able to grow a flower. All right, here we go. Excuse me, let's start out. The seeds from the pack go in the ground, in the ground, in the ground. The seeds from the pack go in the ground. Will our flowers bloom? Well, we got the seeds. What else do we need? You're right, we need some rain. The rain from the sky goes drip, drip, drop, drip, drip, drop, drip, drip, drop. The rain from the sky goes drip, drip, drop. Will our flowers bloom? Okay, we have the seeds and we have the rain. What else do we need? That's right, we need some sunshine. Here we go. The sun above is bright and hot, bright and hot, bright and hot. The sun above is bright and hot. Will our flowers bloom? Okay, they have the sun and they have the rain and they're in good soil. Here we go. Our little seeds are growing fast, growing fast, growing fast. Our little seeds are growing fast. Look, our flowers bloomed. And there it is. I have a beautiful red flower. You grew some beautiful, lovely things. Thanks for playing. Storytime friends, Grandma Pat, I had such a fun day today.
It was fun.
We talked all about plants and gardens, and we learned about how our young friend here, he rescued a plant finally. And what did he do in the That's right, he took clippings of it and shared it with all of his neighbors. What a great thing to do. And then Uncle John's city garden, so many delicious foods that they planted on the rooftop of the building. Isn't that crazy?
And they made succotash.
That's right, they did make succotash at the end. And we grew our own flower garden and vegetable garden. Thanks for helping us with that. But now, I think it's time to say goodbye.
Oh.
I know, that's sad. But we have lots of other things to do.
Yeah.
So let's get a move on. Storytime friends, would you sing with us? Okay, here we go. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Yes, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Story time is done today. Now it's time to go and play. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. I'm gonna go dig in the dirt.